The more than 70 Matric pupils that have been admitted to hospital following a suspected case of food poisoning have been all released from hospital. The pupils who were part of a Matric camp presented with stomach cramps and diarrhoea. SABC News reporter Dludla is now joining us from Fochville Secondary School. Calvin, as we were talking in the previous hour, you were of course rushing to meet with the Department of Education spokesperson in Gauteng, Steve Mabona. Has he arrived?
Yes, good evening to you, Bongiwe, and to our viewers at home. Yes, indeed, we were rushing to meet Gauteng Department of Education spokesperson. That would be Steve Mabona, but he is here now. Let me introduce him. Steve, thank you very much for your time. My colleague will just show you Steve Mabona. He is getting ready to attend to us. Mr. Mabona, thank you very much for your time. You can tell us about the latest updates on what transpired and what is the department saying.
Come to me.
Look,
Come to me.
you guys, we are here just to clarify the issue about the camp. Department of Health, yes, they've issued a statement about their work, because as it were, they admitted our children. Their statement says 73. We can't give you anything else more than what they gave us. And we have confirmed with the hospital actually that all learners have been discharged and they were well taken care of. The hospital confirmed that they are finalizing the process of having the food samples. Just to do necessary tests, but they also confirmed that they took necessary blood, samples as well from learners. As soon as the results are out, they should be in a position to give us that update to say the results are out and what might have been the challenge, with the food that has been consumed by these learners. Well, there's a confirmation that some of the educators might have, eaten the food as well. But we need to just make sure and understand on why then only learners were, affected by this. The camp is quite an important camp. As you know that in 11 days we are starting with our examination, and we have identified learners that need support. So this camp, encompasses about 6 schools, converging here. As it were, it's only girls that were at the hospital because since Monday it was only girls that were at the camp. Their last day is tomorrow. They are leaving. And the next group will be that of boys that will be coming in. As well, they will be here for the entire week. And we should be in a position to update. On Monday, we have a media briefing where the MEC will be updating on our readiness as far as the examination is concerned. We should be in a position to, give an update on the information that regards the examination process that we will be undertaking. So that's far we are at as far as this incident here is concerned.
So these are Matric learners?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
We can confirm that these are Matric learners, and some are expected to come tomorrow, which is your boys. So we've identified those that we think they might have challenges, like your progressed learners, the average, because really as a province we are taking this serious. We want to do well. So we had to, group them and make sure that we support. This program is not only here, it's across the province in all the identified areas, but here we are in the mining community, as it were. So we have a support from the mining companies as far as your nutrition that is provided here, and the support, as it were.
Okay, so let's go back to what actually happened here. From your understanding, have parents taken their children out of the camp, even though it's supposed to finish tomorrow? Or is the camp continuing? Out of the 74, how many are still in the camp?
No, the camp continues. It will only end for girls tomorrow. And boys are expected to come, tomorrow. They will also be here for the entire week. We explain to parents, eventualities do happen. That's why an investigation, which encompasses necessary tests from necessary authorities, is quite key, so that we can have an understanding on what might have happened. Whether it's food poisoning, whether food was not stored properly, and all those things. We are working with the municipalities as well. The health department, municipality, they've got their occupational health officials that will also be coming. So we'll be cooperating with them as the department, just to make sure that we understand on what might have happened here.
So are you working with the municipality because you want to perhaps test the water? Is that the water a concern, or are you ruling out the possibility of perhaps the water being contaminated, and you're strictly focusing on the fact that it could be the food? Or is the food?
No, look, the food is the point of departure.
Okay.
And then, as it were, they will then have to go to other things that they think they will have a problem. Because remember, you can't conclusively say this is what might have caused this, but you need to make sure that we undertake all the processes which will then assist us to have an understanding on what happened.
Steve, have you communicated with the affected family members or children? What are they saying?
No, look, I just arrived at the school, but we've been interacting with the district. District director has been on the ground, he's been here. The principal has been, here at the school, interacting with parents. But as for whether parents are satisfied or they want to, take children away, well, it's up to them, because it's their children. You cannot say if they feel that their children are unsafe because of this incident, try to convince them otherwise. I mean, it's parents. As a parent, you'll definitely be concerned. You will be shocked that your child, went to a camp healthy, and the next thing they are in a hospital. And looking at the number, I mean, we accommodate over 100 learners, and if over 70 will then be admitted, you can then see that it's a shockwave to parents, which is understandable. And we want to convey our our sympathies and our apologies to the parents, I mean, for what their children went through. You can't send a child to a camp and the next thing you hear that your child is in a hospital. So we really apologize. The intention is to make sure that the learners do well. Educators are hard at work from all the affected schools, making sure that we improve where we think we might be having a problem. So nothing, bad intended, but only the good.
Okay.
My last question, Steve, from SABC News, is that now these children were preparing for their matric exams, which starts, I think, around the 21st of October. Now, don't you think that might have a negative impact on them? Are you going to communicate with them and maybe offer psychological help?
Yes, definitely. I mean, we have already dispatched our psycho support team. Actually, they started to make inroads to say, can't they interact with them at the hospital? But we said, no, let rather them be discharged and start with the process of providing necessary support. So that will continue. as it were, if they are outside the camp, we should make necessary arrangements to say, how do we reach them? Facilitate and make sure that necessary support is provided to our children.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mabona. Well, that was Steve Mabona, who speaks for Gauteng Department of Education. He was telling us about their response as the department. He is saying they will indeed offer psychological help. You remember that final matric exams are around the corner, and this might have discouraged some of the students that were affected or involved. As I'm standing outside here at Fochville Secondary, we spoke to some of the parents who were getting inside. They promised to speak to SABC News, so we will camp here until they get outside and try to engage them on this issue.